Good morning. I am so going to try to do this morning, but Matrix decides he wants to play ball, so I'm going to have to throw the ball the whole time that I'm doing this. If you don't know me or you've never seen me before on here, then my name is Pam. I live in a van with my dog Matrix. I've been almost 6 years on the road, and although I'm not an expert at anything, I have had a lot of experience in a lot of different things. So, anyway, we're going to talk about chassis this morning. And let me mention too that if you are just thinking about getting on the road, then this mini talk is for you. And I also have it the description below a link to my Dream to Drive series, which will start you in the direction you want to go until it gets you in your van. Although we're still working on that process in the series. And also, if you want to book a one-on-one van life strategy session with me, that link is in the description below as well. That is designed to get you on the road and help you not make that first costly error. So anyway, today we're going to talk chassis. And let me just say that when I bought my van, I did not get the memo and that said that a van was a class B. What do I know? A van is a class B. And so therefore, if you see something going down the road that's a little boxier and always has that little writing on the side, the little paint, then that's going to be a class C. So we're going to talk about the chassis on a class B today because we're talking about the entire part, the entire van, not just the drivetrain and all the stuff that goes underneath there. Because on a class B, you just get the cab and the manufacturer makes the insides and sits it on the cab. So we're talking about chassis, and they still have the same Ford. Well, the big three that we're going to talk about are Mercedes, Ford, and Ram. Those are the big three. There are some other options as well, but less known. So we're just going to talk about those three today. We'll talk about Mercedes first. What do you think of when you picture a Mercedes Sprinter, is what they're called, going down the road? If you've noticed one before, what are the things that you notice? For me, I know because I like the looks of them a lot, but I notice that they're tall and they're skinny. Have you ever noticed that? Tall and skinny? Well, Mercedes is known for having a high roof option, and they don't have the extra width on it that a Transit and a Ram has. So that's kind of why you get that feeling that it is tall and skinny. And the other thing to go along with that is a Mercedes has high clearance, so it's going to seem like it's even taller. If you've ever looked at one or seen one, you're going to notice that it's a little step up to get inside it, that you don't have that on your Ford as much, and your Ram not at all. So that's something to think about when you see them going down the road. The fancy ones now are the green ones with the ladder on the side. They look so good, don't they? So a Mercedes, that's the number one van that you're going to see out there. Now the pros and cons a little bit. It is now. Let me just point this out. If you're getting a new one, it's kind of different than you're getting used one, because the Mercedes does not make the four-wheel drive option anymore. It makes the all-wheel drive option. No four-wheel, but you could get a used one that had a four-wheel drive in it as well. I don't think I always wanted a four-wheel drive, but I don't really go to that many bad places. So I think an all-wheel drive would be fine. So I'm thinking about that. Okay, so it is a diesel, turbo engine diesel. I don't know a whole lot about that stuff, and I've never had a Mercedes, so I don't really know about turbo engines. Maybe you do. But it is a diesel, which gives you better efficiency in mileage, from what I understand. But of course, on the con side, then normally speaking, diesel fuel is more expensive than gas. So also, you can expect, if you get a Mercedes, Sprinter, that they're going to have a higher resale value than either the Ford or the Ram. Higher resale value. Yeah. So the Mercedes Sprinter is more for someone who likes a really nice driving experience, plans on going a lot of miles, and has a higher budget, because the Mercedes is going to be more expensive than any of the other ones. And they hold resale value, so your used ones are also going to be more expensive than trying to find a used Transit or a used uh, ProMaster, Ram ProMaster. So Mercedes are great. I don't want a Mercedes. There is some downtime. There is some things that are not great about a Mercedes, and one of them is the high maintenance costs. Uh, I don't know. Somebody told me it was like $250 to change the oil. It takes 100 gallons or something. I don't know, but it does. It has more maintenance costs for that. Also, it has a really complex emission system. So if you have a problem with that, it's very expensive to get it fixed. And there are very few Mercedes dealerships around the country, not like Ford or Ram. And there are authorized dealers, of course. But from my experience, just talking to people in the dealerships, in just an authorized user, nobody really likes to work on a Mercedes because they're hard to work on. But it's got some great pros to go along with it too. So now let's talk for a minute about the Ford Transit, which is what I have. A Ford Transit is a V6 engine, is a gas powered, and has an EcoBoost. I don't know exactly how that works, but I do know that if I'm going up a hill, a mountain, I can step on the gas and it goes. As a matter of fact, sometimes if I'm pulling out onto a street and there's somebody coming, and it's not that I can pull right out in front of them, but I can see them coming up in my rear. I just step on it and I can get to their speed just like that. So V6 EcoBoost is what the Ford Transit has. Now, the Ford Transit chassis is also wider than a Mercedes. It's about 6 inches wider, so 3 on each side. And it gives a little more space inside, but it also makes it a little bit harder to fit in a parking space because it's just that much wider. So I don't know if you would count that as a pro or if you would count that as a con. Now, my Ford Transit is a dually, but you don't need a dually. It's just easier to get it stuck, I think. And I'm a rear wheel drive. And so, but now the Ford Transit you can get in an all-wheel drive as well. And the all-wheel drive seems to be really the way they're going. No more four-wheel drives. Ford didn't make a four-wheel drive either uh, in the Transit, but there is a place that you can actually get these. I have this light in my head. It's my halo. It's my halo this morning. There you go. But I have a Ford Transit, and the thing about the Ford Transit that I really like, if you break down, there are dealerships everywhere. Every town in the United States has a Ford dealership. I swear, really. The maintenance is not nearly as expensive as a Mercedes. Again, it's easier to find one. You don't even have to go to a dealership. I don't know. This is probably if you're on here and you say, "Oh my gosh," but I even take mine if the ceiling is, if the roof, if the door is tall enough. I've even gone through Jiffy Lube with mine. It's a Ford. Right? One time I went to a dealership for something else, and I asked them to, change the oil, and it was like, I don't know, it was like $300 or something. And I'm like, why I'm like freaking out, right? Why in the world? And he's, well, we're a specialized dealership and we do more than, Jiffy Lube. I'm like, okay, well, what do you do different than Jiffy Lube? And he couldn't answer because there is no answer. It's just that some shops charge a lot more for labor, like my generator, like over at Cummins right now, and their hourly rate is $212 an hour. I'm like, I wanted to ask the mechanic how much of that he got, but I decided that probably wouldn't be a good idea. So the Ford Transit is kind of like next in line. The Mercedes is kind of like the premium, and the Ford Transit is the number one selling chassis in North America. So there's a lot of us out there, and it has reasonable resale value, not as high as, of course, the Mercedes, but it does have a decent resale value, which is good. It is also more affordable to get into than the Sprinter. I have not looked at prices for a little while, but the last time I looked, your new Ford Sprinter, you could get up into the 200,000s with them, and a new, maybe like mine, is going to be, and these are MSRPs, is going to be like at 180, something like that. So they are costly. Trust me, new ones are costly, but so are used ones now. And the third one in the line is the Ram ProMaster, and the Ram ProMaster is it's boxier because of the way that it's built. So your interior looks and feels and is a little more than either the Ford Transit or the Sprinter. It also is a front wheel drive, and so it doesn't have a drive shaft, so your floor is lower, which is, it gives you more height. But for me, the bad part about that is I don't want it low. I don't want anything low. I mean, the Transit is not high clearance either. And so the Ram is even less high clearance. The Ram really is not made for off-road. It's made more for campground, suburban, because it doesn't even come in all-wheel drive. It's only, I didn't know it was a front wheel drive. I thought it was a rear wheel drive, but it is a front wheel drive according to everything that I can find. If you have one, if you're watching this and you have a Sprinter, or you have a Transit, or you have a ProMaster, then jump on here and leave me a comment and tell me what you're thinking about which uh, chassis is best for a Class B van, which is what we're talking about today. So let's see. And of course, the Ram ProMaster is going to be in the big three. It's going to be the lesser expense for you. It's easier to get into money wise. So that's chassis today. That's what we're talking about on our Vanlife mini talk. And the Mercedes is premium. The Transit is the best selling in the United States, and the Ram ProMaster is the one that is the easiest to get into cost wise. So I hope you enjoyed this little mini talk. I do this every day. I don't have a specific time because it's whenever Matrix will let me, and we continue to throw the ball in the van. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you again tomorrow.